thought I saw a putty cat.
We did say putty cat. You did.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin' Street? Girlin' Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. Mm-hmm. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, one with a home run, drove
hit the home run.
Right. They were going into that national series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. Mm-hmm. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible. So when you have, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the.
You are listening to Be Exposed.
How much you're winning or losing your games by, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. It's like the margin of victory, kind of.
Right.
So.
What's up, family? Welcome to the Black Bottom Man Radio Show with your boy, Brother Mike. I will be your host. And today I want to welcome one of my awesome team members, Mr. Derrick Woodson.
How's everybody doing?
Welcome back. I'm feeling out there today. I hope you guys are feeling good. We are back. We had to take a break for a minute, but we ran some repeated episodes in case you guys missed some. Today we're back with a live show. Feels good to be back. So I'm going to get started and send out some invites. See if we can get you guys to come hang out with us today. And Yogi, anything encouraging that's worthy of talking about?
Yeah, a couple. I think it was yesterday in Baltimore City where we are currently at. 5 individual people, I think 2 were slain. I think 3 were injured. So that's I don't understand how the murder rate is going up so high with individual blacks, not whites. No disrespect to anybody else, right. But it's to the point where we're killing our own. Every weekend you find out 5 and 6 or 2 and 3 people are either injured, shot, or killed. I'm just trying to find a common balance. Like, what can we do better, or how can we call the people to what is correct?
Yeah, that's a good question. My route has always been, education. Like, I believe in us having conversations to educate each other on ways that we can try to avoid some of the, for lack of better words, traditions that are being passed on of how we deal with each other in, situations. You know what I mean? Where it's heightened tempers and, heightened aggression. So I think we have to have certain conversations. End of all the answers, but that's what I'm on. I mean, what do you think, brother? Any suggestions on how we can? Because I think we have to be made to recognize the reality of what we're doing to each other. It seems like for whatever reason we are not grasping the true reality of what we are doing as far as hurting each other. So that's kind of my take.
Oh, you good? This one good? You still on?
Yeah, you good, brother.
My bad. I didn't know. But the thing about it, that makes
Internet radio, we just keep it moving.
ain't no makeup here.
You know what I mean?
The thing is that I don't understand how we're still, it's the same thing that's been going on for the last 25, 30 years. And it's been going on before that, but I'm just going to speak on the last 25, 30 years.
Okay.
We're beating about blocks that not even our own.
Don't even own them, brother.
And you're murdering a person that you went to school with. You're killing a cousin, a rival, whatever. I mean, Hagel, smallest stuff like that is not your block.
Right.
It's low-income housing.
You know, I always make a little joke that, you know, we out here fighting over these blocks, right? Saying, you know, this is my set, this, that, and the third. Well, what you gonna do when they tear it down and build a row of farms?
Nothing.
You gonna be repping Rofo?
And the thing is, it's not so much you're going to rep the road for. The thing is, they're tearing down your places because you are the problem.
That could,
You are the
yeah,
problem.
true.
And I feel so sorry for the people who putting up the candles and the teddy bears and stuff like that. And for the people. Shout out to my man Tyron Coleon. He's a good dude. No shoes on. I salute you, brother. But at the end of the day, sometimes our deliverance tend to push people to the left.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So when you're going trying to give a powerful message, you should learn to speak with integrity. Not saying this brother is not. He's just angry because he's been talking with integrity. He's saying, okay, if I put this no shoot zone sign down, I would hope the people would take time and understand, like, we don't want no killing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If you have a person, an individual person who says, look, what's
Hear the sirens, it's authentic. We in the city right now. Sorry to interrupt you. It's authentic, okay? We in P-more right now.
the point that matters that you got to find a solution and you got to find the point of origin to this problem. And the problem lies with us. These are not your blocks. You don't own nothing. And if your grandmother been owning this house for 50 years, why would you cause this house to be taken?
Right.
Because they can't take that because she owns it.
Absolutely.
But if it causes more hardship, they're gonna either buy her out, buy him out, or we're gonna fix something.
Right.
So it's something has to happen.
I want to speak on the whole thing of being angry, right? Because there's a lot of us that are angry, and I feel that, like, as black people, we have a right to be angry, you know, because of the things that we deal with, the things that we suffer through, all the different levels of racism, from the job performance to, you know, not getting your raises, to watching our people get murdered in the streets. So I think it is a sense of anger that should be on all of us. But I think we have to have more patience with each other when we deal with the other one that has that anger. Of course, we know when we deal with other ethnicities, like, they're going to be like, oh, you know, he's angry, this, that, and the third. But, like, if you're not angry as a black person, then you're really not paying attention to what's going on to your people. And you really don't have a deep concern for your people, because we should be angry. Maxine Waters actually said that. You know what I mean? So, like you said, the brother's coming across, you know, you may be able to feel that, but we know why that's there. You know what I mean? We know why he has that tension within him. So I'm hoping over time we can develop a little bit more patience with each other when one of us does come off in a certain way. Because, see, Yogi, you can handle it, right? But other people will look at him, like he was saying, and feel like, man, that dude's angry, you know what I mean? This, that, and the third. You know, not understanding that he's within his rights to feel, you know, anger because of what we deal with. But good point, though, brother, good point.
And one more thing to the people is like this. They're looking for his faults. But the person who is causing the chaos gets no flack.
No flack.
So if I'm a man, if I'm one of the powers that be, and I'm causing all the confusion and chaos in these neighborhoods, and I can walk by you, and all you can do is look down. But for a person who's trying to create a solution to get us to do better, you frown upon me. You talk about who I was yesterday. You say all my faults. How does the person who caused the hardship get away, and the person trying to fix it is the culprit? It makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And again, you know, here at the Black by the Man radio show, we give facts, we give perspectives, we give opinions. So my perspective is that as a community of people, we have become more comfortable with watching the police brutality, the murders, so forth and so on, than we are with actually discussing it. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, so we'll sit and watch it all day, but then when it comes to saying, I want to talk about this, I want to discuss this, everybody's like, you shouldn't really talk about that. It's kind of taboo. I'm not a believer in, you shouldn't discuss politics and religion. Now, I'm a believer that you shouldn't discuss it just anywhere, but there's got to be platforms where this gets discussed, because politics and religion is what makes this world go around. So when I hear people say you shouldn't discuss politics and religion, I think to myself, okay, who told you that? I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. Maybe a preacher and a politician. You get what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Because if you can convince people not to discuss what you do, that gives you free reign to continue to do what you do the way that you want to do it, however you want to do it, because you've made it taboo for people to talk about it.
Right.
So I have a different perspective on things, and I like to offer that from time to time.
Right.
What else? We got anything else in current events?
Yeah, I got the one where the guy, I forgot exactly. Let me check, make sure I get this correct so I don't say anything incorrect. A gentleman was over in, let me make sure I get this right, so I say this correctly. I think it's in Lima, Peru. 2 Americans used their medal winnings moments in the Pan American Games to draw attention to social issues back home that they feel are spiraling out of control.
Okay.
Medal ceremonies in the multi-sports event in Lima. Fencer Race Embolden, if I'm saying it correctly, took a knee, and the hammer thrower Winberry raised her fist. Both athletes could represent the U.S. less than a year from now at the Tokyo Olympics, where the similar protest will be seen by a much wider audience.
Nice. And I think that makes a difference, because I'm going to say this because we're internet radio, but it does seem that if you have a Caucasian person take a stance on something that black people are already taking a stance on, it tends to draw more attention. So big up to that man for being strong enough to take a knee and show that he's in support of being against what is happening with police brutality and so forth and so on within the black community. So that's big time. Anything else?
I think I got it.
That about do it?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's move on from current events. Sometimes they can be depressing. All right, so let's tell you what we got going on here today. Okay, so the last time we did a live show, we went over things that you needed to remove from your life. So the last one was being a people pleaser. So I said that I would do a show where we go into depth about why you should not try to be a people pleaser with everybody. So that's going to be today's show. So today we are talking 12 drawbacks to being a people pleaser. And I find this to be interesting because I know I've been a victim of trying to be a people pleaser. Have
Me
you ever
too,
tried
absolutely.
Right,
absolutely.
And often it doesn't work in our benefit. So I just thought I'd go over 12 drawbacks, and then, we can decide if these are legit, if it's something that you would want to consider of making changes in your life. But, trying to be a people pleaser all the time doesn't always work. So we're talking about 12 drawbacks to being a people pleaser. But before we get into it, make sure you guys go to blackbytheman.com to get your Black by the Man apparel. Remember, buy is spelled B-U-Y. Black is for the people. Buy is how we practice economics. Demand is the change. And also, if you want to become a patron of ours, at patreon.com/BrotherMikeBBD. We can use your help. You could be a patron as little as $1 a month, and you have access to our patron-only feed where we put up things that deal with shows we talked about, and we also place things on there that we didn't discuss on the show. So we need your support, so make sure you check us out, blackbytheman.com, also at patreon.com/BrotherMikeBBD. All right, so 12 drawbacks to being a people pleaser. And before I get into these, for those who are hanging out with us today and participating with the show, we would love you guys' feedback as we go over these to see what you feel about it. And if it's valid, if you think it's valid, if it applies to the way you've lived your life and experiences that you have had. So it says the people pleaser. It's good to want to be helpful. We teach this to our kids the moment their motor skills become halfway decent. It's good to be patient, generous, compassionate, and selfless. These are hallmarks of civilization. It's not good, however, to be all these things when their expressions aren't entirely genuine. That is the people pleaser's life. They take the good guy role to an excessive degree. There's a definite pleasurable psychological hit to being thought of as someone to go to. but when a need to be liked, popular, diplomatic, or seen as helpful oversteps the ability to assert one's needs, drawbacks emerge. So I like how they put that, right? So let's get into number one. Number one drawback of why you should not try to be a people pleaser is the lack of identity. People pleasers are never pleased with themselves because they never get to be themselves. They become experts at mirroring others and suppressing anything that might be taken as contrary to or a given situation. If there's a chance that someone might take offense, a pleaser's true opinions are likely to never be known. So lack of identity. So you don't want to be a people pleaser because you can lose your identity. They say these type of people, they're never going to reveal their opinions. They're never going to reveal what they really feel out of the fear that those that they reveal it to are not going to be happy with what they say. Wow. What do you think about that?
Oh, that was a deep one right there. Definitely. Because at the end of the day, it's like you can never be your true self because you're so busy, like it says, mirroring the other people.
Right.
And that's why so many kids are lost and so many young individuals are committing suicide because they can't be really themselves. And they're out there wanting to be, and like I say, I don't support certain things that people do, but life is your life. Be a homosexual. He wants to be out there to get out there and experience his life as who he is, but he can't because of his mother or his father or an uncle.
Okay.
So now he's so immersed in trying to be like everybody else, he loses himself and it becomes depression. And once it becomes depression, and that's when most of the people hurt themselves.
Thank you, brother.
So that was a good point. That was
yeah, that
was
is
good.
valid. I like the way you explained that. I know I've definitely been in situations before where I wanted to speak on certain situations and I didn't. And it wasn't just about what I thought that they were going to think. It was also based off of perceptions that I felt they already had about me. You get what I mean? So it's like, okay, these are not the people I'm going to express my true opinion around because they're going to look at it like, oh, you know, their ego being strong or too direct, you know what I mean, so forth and so on. So I think it's valid, but evidently this is a drawback. You know, you can lose yourself within being this way. So you guys let us know what you think about that. Lack of identity, because we all want to hold on to who we are. Rather people like you or dislike you, at least they will respect that you are who you are.
Absolutely.
You get what I mean? And I learned a long time ago that you might as well be yourself in life because you're always going to have people who like you and you're always going to have people who dislike you. You will never be completely disliked. You will never be completely liked. Trump has a bunch of people that dislike him, but he also has a bunch of people that like him. You get what I'm saying?
It's a fact.
Facts, right? So this is, I think this is very important on holding on to your identity. Be pleasant, be politically correct, but be you. Don't lose grip of being you. All right, well, stay with us. We up on our first break. We'll come back with number 2 after this break. It's the Black by the Man radio show. We are talking 12 drawbacks to being a people pleaser. Stay with us.
If I sit around, hold up, look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah, rebel up.
If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head and I'm in the bed. Don't know who I am, like I'm wearing a mask. Working mode, tell them where the cash. If you wear the cash, tell them where the cash. If you playing for you, gon' run it back. Don't make promises, but I promise that. Don't promise me, cause I ain't into that. Fell in love with that and got hurt from that. Now it's all over and the curtains back. Can't see you not noticing that. I'm letting it go, it ain't holding me back. Yeah, I'm on dice, but ain't come for the crack. Drinking with uncle, we only do jack. How I'm alive, I thank God for that. Praying about it, things getting better. Open it up with my name on the letter. Why you crazy about it? Saying whatever, you shy to be you. You know you gotta be you. Sometimes I need privacy too. Yeah, you know I ride. You know I ride, and you know you ride for me too. Yeah, you know I. Look, you like getting that hit for real. When it's me and Murray, just us, we chill. I'm in a rush to get off to get you. Never ever had to floss to get you. Pay the dues that it cost to kiss you. Rug burns on the carpet with you.
Oh yeah. Come on, dog, throw this in there. Had to dedicate this to the homie out of New Orleans. Free. Say she wanna bump that. You wanna do it? Go ahead, do it. If I sit around. If I sit around.
Business owners, need more customers? Offer fantasy sports contests and generate more sales. Restaurants, bars, hotels, auto dealerships, real estate offices. Whatever your business, fantasy sports contests can help you increase your sales and bring you more loyal customers. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. Our software lets you customize contests fast and easy for your brand. That's right. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. That's 888-55-SPORT or visit Fanify.com.
There's a rumor going around that Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Well, let me tell you about this. Tyler, okay, told Oprah, bitch, if you don't have my money, we're going to have a problem. Ooh. Oprah said, what is the problem? Ooh. You said if I don't have your money, there was going to be a problem. So Oprah is standing her ground like, bitch, I'm in charge. Yeah, you know, you may have a $250 million studio over there that you film all your shows and movies and stuff on, but I have the empire. That's what Oprah said.
Oh, these are her exact words. Allegedly.
I made this up. But
allegedly.
I made it all up. But there was a rumor that they were beefing. But Tyler confirms that they don't have any issues. So it says it was recently reported on the rumors that was swirling that the twosome were on the outs over constructive criticism of a Perry show. Well, I got some constructive criticism, and we can be on the outs, Tyler, and I don't give a damn because I'm going to make a promo out of this anyway and share it to your page. I need the scenes on have and have-nots to be like 5% shorter, each one. I want you to watch it.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the BBD Radio Show with your boy, Brother Mike, along with our awesome team member, Mr. Derrick Woodson, filling in for us today. The lovely Miss Janice was not able to be here with us today, so hopefully she's enjoying her day. So anyway, we are talking 12 drawbacks to being a people pleaser. So we just went over number 1, which was the lack of identity. So let's move on to number 2. Number 2, buried resentment. The more a people pleaser tries to please, the less time they have for their own pursuits, which can leave them feeling bitter. Also, if they don't think getting the level of thanks or praise they deserve, there's dangers of them quietly resenting the people they're hoping to please, even though they'll continue to try to please them. Ouch. Buried resentment. So you can lose yourself because you're doing so much of trying to please people, right? And then they're not reciprocating to you, long story short, the thank you that you feel you deserve.
Gratitude. Definitely.
Gratitude, right? So deep inside, you begin to become a little bit bitter, though at the same time, still being a people pleaser. That's got to be stressful.
Yeah, definitely.
That's got to be stressful. I don't think I've experienced that because you have. Okay, because if I feel that you are not reciprocating the proper gratitude, I will lose track of trying to please you because I will feel like this is not cool. But you said you've done that.
Yeah, and the sad thing about the person that you are emulating and you're trying to please them the most, they don't get the blunt of the blow.
Okay.
The people that really are genuine with you and want you to be yourself and for you to come out and express your feelings.
Got it.
And that's what I went through. I so busy was trying to please my counterparts out here and running myself silly. People were asking, like, look, man, step back, take your time. For a while, I'm rejecting them and focus on the person in the middle and trying to please that person. So the other people get harmed. And
so for the people in the audience today, if you definitely can relate to Mr. Woodson's story he just told, let us know if you've been in situations where you felt a little resentment towards the people that you go hard in the paint trying to please. Again, this is one that doesn't suit me so much because I'm a Scorpio. Scorpios, we don't do well when you hurt us. You know what I mean? Like, you hurt a Scorpio, it's pretty much ball game after that. So when I have experienced this, I completely fell back. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? I go hard, try to please this person. I do everything to make them happy, and they still have no appreciation. They don't be happy. Fine. I let go. I relinquish of trying to please you. As whether that's the best route or not, I guess it's probably personal preference. For me, it's the best route for me because if I become bitter, that's going to start coming through our relationship. I'm going to start showing that, verbally, in our conversations, so forth and so on. Mr. Archie Miller says some have that fear factor and people just perpetrating the fraud. That's what's up, Arch. I'm with you on that. Absolutely. So buried resentment, and I definitely don't want to be a person that begins to have buried resentment. So now that I'm really thinking about it, I'm probably making the healthier move of not trying to please that person no more. So that way I don't develop this buried resentment, because I definitely see how that can happen, when you're trying to please people. I have been in situations where I've tried to please people, and then they're very ungrateful for it. So eventually you just cut your ties, and you keep it moving. Matter of fact, I just recently cut some ties. That might be why I'm speaking on it the way that I am. I just cut some ties, and I'm moving on. I will no longer try to be a pleaser.
Some other people, this is therapeutic. That's what I love about this show, is that most of these things that me and brother over here are not afraid to say, some people are.
Yes.
So therefore, this could be a platform for you to say, fine, and somebody feel like I'm not ashamed to tell my business or to be comfortable with y'all, because at the end of the day, this could be help someone. So, or don't be prideful, like that didn't happen to me. It didn't behind closed doors. You in there crying because you wanted to let it out, and was afraid to let it out because you don't want to offend the person that you're trying to please.
Right.
So you'll keep it in, but always remember this: the person that you're trying to please. Look at the people that you're hurting, trying to please that person. That's real talk. Because a lot of people, you hurt in the process trying to please another person.
Yes.
And you don't care about their feelings, but you care about the one person who don't give two craps about you.
Yes. And that's definitely being a victim of being a people pleaser.
Absolutely.
You get what I mean? So I've seen it multiple
2
times.
minutes, brother.
So copy. So yeah, I definitely been one that will let that go. So let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is mental fatigue. A lot of mental energy goes into a people pleaser working to say what they think others want to hear or do what they think others want done. Energy which could go towards their own magnificent personal journey. Instead, they will often retreat into a shell of limited experience, exploration in order to recharge for the next day. So mental fatigue. So you can experience mental fatigue for trying to be a people pleaser. Now that just seems like common sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, again, I've been around people who have taken it to that level, and I take pride in knowing that I wasn't one of the people who abused them trying to be a people pleaser, but I definitely experienced watching other people take advantage of this particular people pleaser, and I can see how that would develop mental fatigue after a certain point. And according to the research, it will cause them to retreat, into a shell of limited experience, just in order for them to recharge. You know what I mean? Spent their whole day trying to fix everybody. I mean, I would imagine that mothers go through this all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get what I mean? I would imagine a mother goes through this all the time between work and, the husband or the boyfriend and the kids and the house and the neighbors. And, I can see how, she would get that mental fatigue. If you have any experiences with mental fatigue for trying to be a people pleaser, please type it in and let us know about this. We want to hear it from you guys. This would probably fit what Mr. Miller saying, perpetrating the fraud. Shout out to Archie Miller, OG. So yeah, I think I have experienced mental fatigue before. I didn't know it. You know what I mean? I was doing what I thought was supposed to be done within the friendship or relationship, whatever you want to call it. But when it's not being reciprocated the proper way, and again, people are not being pleased with your efforts. I guess I have experienced mental fatigue. You get what I mean? Now that I give it some thought, I'm pretty transparent. You know what I mean? So I don't hold back too many punches. But yeah, I guess I have experienced some mental fatigue, and This says that the mental fatigue, you know, can cause you to retreat, you know what I mean, to recharge for the next day. I think I've definitely experienced that. But at a certain point, I just retreat, period. You know what I mean? When I recharge the next day, it's to get away from you. That's when I recharge. All right. Stay with us, though. We're up on another break. It's the Black by the Band radio show. 12 drawbacks to being a people pleaser. We will return. Yeah, I think it's something.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
Nigga chose by another nigga, bitch. Damn, this chopper got 50 round clip. So this Molly and the syrup got me geeking, shorty. Ain't know I popped them Xannies, had them sleeping on me. Love in a hood full of hate. Pray to God that he open up them gates. Rest in peace to Freddie Gray and Lil Scooter. Putting on for our city, watch his door. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, so welcome back, everybody, to the BBD radio show. We are still here talking 12 drawbacks. I want to read a comment here. This is from Miss Dawn Cameron. She says, yes, that's true. Many women have this issue. Absolutely. That's what I thought of, Dawn. And thank you for tuning in with us today. She's my classmate. We went to school together our whole lives. Hope all is well with you, Dawn. And again, thank you for tuning in, because we would like to hear from our audience today. And you are a woman, you are a mother, so your opinion is valid. We appreciate that. But yeah, during the break, you were speaking about this mental fatigue of being a pleaser within relationships. Can you reiterate what you were saying?
Said it real fast. You got to get me to get up. But basically, what it is that a lot of us are trying to fix things with relationships, like dealing with trying to please. What I say again? So the mother, the brothers, the uncles, the baby mothers, the wives, and so forth and so on. You're basically pleasing them in that process.
Right.
So I'm trying to remember all this I said so fast.
Especially, and I'm sitting here thinking, especially if you're like, say you're out and about in a situation, right? And you went into a situation you was comfortable, right? You with your boys, you're chilling, you know, and then you look over there and then there's your lady's cousin, right? Or aunt,
right?
And it changes your whole vibe.
Oh, good one.
Right,
Hit the bell, brother. Hit the bell.
You gotta, you gotta now make sure you stay in the zone that's gonna be pleasing to her,
right?
Before she goes back and reports it, not only to your girl, but to the family. Right. I just seen him. You know what I mean? And he was this, that, and the third. Acting a fool. So yeah, I can see mental fatigue coming out of that. So I definitely have experienced that.
It's breaking us because you're so worried about pleasing the mass, but you're not pleasing yourself. And that's when it comes to the point where you go to alcohol, you go to drugs, because you're trying to meet the balance. Because when you're mentally fatigued, the first thing as black people do, we go get drunk.
Yeah.
We go get high.
Substance abuse.
Right. So that's the first thing. That is how we fix the problem.
Yeah, we do tend to fall back on that.
Because if I'm lying, I'm flying. Well, something happens wrong at your job, and you're trying to please your boss to get it done. He just does not get it. And you come on and tell a friend of yours, the first thing he or she says, girl, let's go get drunk.
Right.
Homeboy, let's go get high.
Let's go.
It's
let's
never
go do
says
something.
let's figure out what we can do to fix the problem sober.
Right.
With a clear mind, a clear understanding, so the next time
Valid point.
it happens, you can figure out in a better angle.
Right.
Tell whoever, look, this is me, accept or don't. Like he said, he tended like, look, it'll go on for a couple days or whatever. After that, he cuts the debt.
I will release you.
Papers and all. Here you go.
Hey, look, you walk up on me, I'll be like, here's your papers. What's
Definitely.
this? You've been released.
Definitely.
Okay? You've been released. That's what you've been acting like through your behavior. You wanted to be released. I'll read another comment again. This is from Miss Dawn Cameron. She says, personally, I've spent majority of my life people-pleasing. Now, not so much because it is exhausting. Absolutely. Mental fatigue. She says, now the backlash of not pleasing everyone is negative comments. Well said, Dawn, because that's what I was going to tap into. When you stop,
right,
suddenly people become a little upset with you. You know, they're so used to you being a people pleaser. Now you're going to get a little backlash like, oh, she's changed, she acts different. You know, and they'll find something to pin it on, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you just got a new raise. Oh, she got a new raise, now she thinks she, you know, better. Or she's got a new car, she just moved. When in all reality, you just was mentally fatigued and you decided, I can't do this no more. You know what I mean? I can't keep trying to please these people. So very, very, very well put comment, Dawn. And again, I hope this helps to keep you on your path of release from being a people pleaser. Absolutely. Mental fatigue is important. All right, let's move on to number 4. So number 4 is social distracting. Being a people pleaser means risking being eventually seen as insecure or annoying. And once that happens, no one wants you around. Wow. Wow. Others can usually spot a people pleaser a mile away and will find several discreet ways to exclude them unless the pleaser happens to be needed at that particular moment. Now that is also very true. That is also very true. A particular friend of mine had a family member that is a people pleaser, and some of the friends had planned on going to the movies. And long story short, they left her behind.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? And I think that's what this was fitting. She's such the people pleaser. They decide when they want to be pleased and when they don't.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying? You know, so people will exclude you, you know what I mean, because you now are annoying. It's like they love it when it's in their benefit.
Oh, wow.
You get what I mean?
Yeah,
but
definitely.
when it's not in their benefit, it's like, oh, he's annoying.
Right.
You know, or like maybe your people pleasing was to 2 of your 4 people that's in your circle. So the other 2 people, they don't necessarily want you around because you're not being a people pleaser with them. You're being a people pleaser with the other 2, and those other 2 aren't here this time.
Right.
So you're just going to be annoying. You're going to be annoying to the other 2 people. You know, isn't that terrible? So social distracting. You know, you're risking being seen as insecure or annoying because, and it makes sense because, like, think about people who we classify as, you know, an a-hole, right? If it's one thing that we say we know about the people who are a-holes is that they don't care that you believe that about them. Then that's a part of what people makes them think that they're a-hole.
It's a fact.
Because they're not spending their time trying to be a people pleaser.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? They don't want to be a people pleaser. So, you know, people are like, you know, she's this, she's that, he's this, he's that. So yeah, that is very interesting.
Shout out to Nasim Shabazz Bey, aka Ike. He said, since I stopped, I get a better quality of respect.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And for the person who's out there pleasing the mass, you know, it's sad that you're trying, because most of them people pleasers don't get the same love in their own homes. So they're trying to find it somewhere else. So they'll do anything. They maybe just want a hug, a good conversation, someone to depend on. But the problem is the person who is getting pleased is so selfish and self-centered, they don't even care that that person is screaming for attention.
Screaming for attention, just wanting someone to validate them. You know what I mean? Even if it's just someone saying, hey, listen, thank you for what you do. You know what I mean? Thank you for being there for us and trying to make sure everything was okay. But yeah, people will in turn abuse that person.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And make them the go-to person.
And to the point where they're so far removed from reality that they don't know how to get back.
Don't know how to get back. That's a valid point. They don't know how to get back. All right, so that is number 4, social distracting. All right, let's do number 5, fake friends. Ew.
Shout out to all y'all.
Shout out to all the fake friends.
Right. We know who you are. We just accept you because it's funny to me when you have a fake friend and you know they're not right.
Right.
But my joy in it is to see you have to be fake.
Right.
So
it's a lot of energy.
The bell again for me. I need a bell because you take more energy in being fake than you You know when a person dislikes you. You can feel it in their speech and their action.
Right.
But they have to put on this show to keep you close, either for your destruction, or to learn something about you, to shame you, or just to be there. Just, you know, some people just love misery. They just love to be around a person doing well and try to cause chaos.
Yes. Yep.
So these are fake friends. If you're one of my fake friends, man, I'll see you sometime next week. Don't even worry about it.
Holla at you.
Don't even worry about it. It's
Holla at
cool.
you.
It's
See
cool.
you at the next fake award.
Right, right.
You know, I had someone say to me before, and I thought it was interesting. They were saying, let me get it right, that sometimes people are in such a zone of misery, and they've been there for such a large part of their life, to come out of that zone and not bring misery to the table and bring, you know, pleasantries, or be around people that's bringing pleasantries. It's actually uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, they don't know how to do it.
They don't know how to do it. It's not their comfort zone whatsoever. So let's read about fake friends. All right, anyone trying to please people all the time had better get used to being used. Those people will be the ones always called on to help with the move, watch the dogs while others are away on vacation, roll out of bed at 1 in the morning to give a ride home to a friend who's partied too much, then roll over a few hours later to drive them back to the car, and on and on. People pleasers will not, however, be the ones invited to go bowling, swimming, to Sunday brunch, the cool movie that everyone's talking about, or any number of things that people who actually desire another one's presence. Not all friends will be fake, but while definitely develop a cluster of manipulative people who appear as if gravitationally attracted to you. My allergies are acting. I got my eyes watered. So yeah, fake friends. So these are in plenty. Like this is plentiful, right?
Yeah, absolutely. all over the world.
We got plenty of this around. We got enough of this to go around. Fake friends. So according to this, they're really just going to use you anyway. They're going to use you up, right? When it's in their benefit to have you around, but at the same time, when it comes to being invited to the fun activities, you know, bowling, you know, swimming, Sunday brunch or whatever, they're not going to call you. You are not the one they're going to call. They're going to call their other fake friends.
Good point. Good point.
They're not going to call you. So let us know what you guys think about fake friends, because I think we all have experienced that in one way, shape, or form. You know, fake friends, they are plentiful.
I'm hosting. I got my phone on the watch party. So leave your comments. If you, especially shout out to Jessica Washington. She's been commenting, leaving little nitbits on here about well done and stuff like that.
Okay.
Make your comments. Shout out to Ivy. Said people please are tools
Brother
to be used and not socialized with. So make your comments. You know, speak out against certain things.
Yeah, let us know what you feel.
These people are getting away with you becoming great. You know what I'm saying? Because as you're a people pleaser, you're not pleasing yourself. You're not getting to the point where you could become great or you can do things for yourself. You're pleasing the other people, and it's hurting you from growth. And shout out to Dawn for saying that also earlier.
Absolutely.
Because the people that are negative towards you, they are bitter.
They are.
Showing growth.
Yep.
And the person hates. They're standing tall over top of you. So once you look them eye to eye and show that I am just as good as you, they hate it. So they're going to cause hardship with you. Become taller, become greater, and stand your ground.
What is it about growth that tends to make people dislike it? Is it because they're not growing with you, they're not evolving with you? You know, what is it? You know what I mean? What can we put that on?
Stagnant.
Stagnant.
Because most people, if you ever encounter a person who says they has all these things and it took them a certain time to get it, then here you could be on the same level. They will keep you there. They don't want you to surpass them because it's hard.
Okay. Okay.
You go to school for 2 years and learn what I did before.
Right.
And they know that. So what they will hinder you from doing that to be above you.
Oh, okay. All right. Because that's what I was wondering. Why does everybody even have issue with people who, you know, are trying to evolve and, you know, do better, do different? But, you know, we've all experienced that.
Oh, she said, never scared of my story, but knowledge of self help. What did she say? Knowledge of self-help, you will build better awareness. Shout out to Jessica Washington.
Right. Appreciate that comment. Let's get back here. All right, so maybe number 6 will help us with this.
It's
number 6 is jealousy.
Oh, she said one more. She said it's the crab effect.
Crab effect. Okay, that fits right with jealousy, right? All right, jealousy. So jealousy is one of the drawbacks of being a people pleaser. People pleasing can be a cutthroat game, and a pleaser finding out that someone was serviced better by someone other than them is practically an act of war. They don't like to dilute praise. Yeah, they don't like to dilute praise given to them by sharing the objects of their attentions, and will be damned if another pleaser gets the upper hand.
Ouch.
So we talk about the battle of the pleasers.
I've seen that in different scenarios where you have two homeboys came together and two other homeboys come together,
right?
And they collab off someone else's greatness, and they would say, "Well, my man Mike, he do this, he do that.
Right.
Well, my man Joe, he do this." And the whole time, what are you doing?
Right.
Where do you set yourself at?
Right.
How do you separate yourself? Because without, say, me and Mike, know this guy for, I don't want to say my age again. I'm gonna keep that on the hush.
Long time.
But I've never had that scenario with him because he's always gonna be him.
Yes.
Me and him have different qualities, different things he might like, I might not like.
Right.
Vice versa. But that's what make people tend to one king to another king. For example, I rule my castle this way, he rules his castle that way. Does not mean that I can't meet in the middle with him and have a dialogue.
Right.
But when you have the court jester, which is the clown to all the people who do these things, they tend to cause chaos. They tend to cause chaos. And then you have a pleaser who's pleasing the hierarchy, you know what I'm saying? And the person who's at that top leaves him in the, I'm trying to find a word for it. I'm going to say leave him inside. In other words.
Okay. Yeah, I see this happening in like situations, say like in an event. You're having an event, right? Yeah. And then you have a person where you say, well, this person's going to be in charge of the tables and the chairs and the decorations, right? And that person's a pleaser. And then the other person comes along and they're like, well, I thought I was going to be in charge of the decorations. Oh, wow. You get what I'm saying? In the chairs, because, last time you guys asked me to do it, at the last minute, I thought I did a good job, and it's like, oh, well, you did, but this person has more experience, so now suddenly that person has an issue with the other person. So, you got the battle of the pleasers going on. You get what
Somebody
I mean?
going to fight.
Somebody is going to become jealous and not want that limelight shared, because if the job is done well, right, and then people compliment, oh, it really looks nice, the decor is nice, they like the tables and the chairs where they're decorated, only one person wants to get credited for that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where the battle is going to come in at. So you got the battle of the pleasers. So I've seen it. I haven't experienced it. I don't think I go that hard at trying to please people, but
it's like you don't know a situation until someone points it out to you.
Right.
For so many years, you're trying to appease the people or this individual person. You don't see it because that person that you're pleasing is going to keep you close.
Yes.
He's going to keep the people, or he or she is going to keep the people away from you that's trying to pull you out into your own existence. But don't worry about them. They don't care about you. I got you.
Right.
Like you just said, not too long ago, you said they'll invite you to certain events where you can please them, but when we go to the movies, we go to the club, we go this place, I don't get an invite.
Right. You get the invites for things where they need your help. You know what I mean? So we moving next Saturday. Can you help us out?
Right.
We painting. We having problems with, putting this dresser together. But then it's like, oh, we're going to go out, Friday and do the movies. You don't hear nothing from them. It's crickets in the room.
Definitely.
They don't need you to please them. They out to please themselves that night. So your services are no longer necessary.
The brother, Ike, shout out to Ike and Jessica Washington on this watch party, man. I thank y'all for responding.
Thank you for participating.
Like because most people don't want to speak their mind because they're afraid of the mask and what the mask is going to say. I'm letting everybody know here, you don't make me or break me. I can't live by this world and I leave out here by myself. So at the end of the day, if I don't speak who I am, and so like you said, most people are going to say you're fake because you're speaking your mind, so what? So what Ike said was, in the drug game, people pleasers are some of the first people to get their ass at the end of every day. Shout out to Ike.
Shout out to Brother Ike. Brother Ike took it to the streets.
And I wasn't going to read it, but we on live.
Yeah, it's
live. We can do it.
Take it to the streets, brother. That's what's up. Yeah, that makes sense, though. It makes sense. All right, let's move on to number 7. So number 7 is personal dissatisfaction. People pleasers might often find that they have little idea what actually pleases themselves.
Oh, wow.
Their sense of joy and within things or activities comes from mirroring the satisfaction of others. This leads to entertainment, food, and other social niceties coming off as to the people pleasers who find themselves alone minus the influence of outside sources. So they are such a people pleaser that they really don't even know what pleases them, because satisfaction for them is pleasing other people or being satisfied with what other people are satisfied with. So you kind of lose yourself within that. That makes sense. And they said they find themselves alone if they don't have people to go out and please, people to, you know, do things for and please. And that's pretty sad.
Definitely sad.
Yeah, that's pretty sad, you know, but I can see how that would happen. Sense of joy in things or activities comes from mirroring the satisfaction of others. I think this is why, you know, you can have like, you know, certain clusters of people that you know who tend to say party all the time.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? They're not knowing how to please themselves other than when they're flowing with the crowd and saying, hey, we going here, we going there, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, you know, and never get to find themselves. What pleases you? What makes you happy? What makes you sit back and say, this was a good day? Not it was a good day because I was with this person, that person, we went here, we did that.
What makes you tick?
How'd
you feel?
Right.
Yeah.
So you're left with a personal dissatisfaction because you haven't figured out what actually pleases you. So yeah, very, very valid, very valid. Okay, we are up on another break. So stay with us. It's the BBD Radio Show. We are talking 12 drawbacks to being a people pleaser. We'll be back after this break.
I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
One and go. Welcome back to the Black Ballot Band Radio Show. We are talking 12 drawbacks to being a people pleaser. Again, shout out to Miss Dawn Cameron. She says, Mike, your show is incredible. Keep up the awesome work. Dawn, you get a bell for that, and thank you very much. We definitely appreciate having you joining us.
Definitely.
All right, so we just did number 7, which was personal dissatisfaction. And that's going to come from because you lost yourself and not knowing how to please you. What makes you feel good? You get what I mean? We know being a people pleaser makes you feel good. But when you're not people pleasing, what do you do to please yourself? You know, hey, how about you find a people pleaser? Find somebody to please you. Find that other people pleaser that was competing with you and say, listen, you don't have to compete with me no more. I want you to please me.
or take a self-evaluation and please yourself for once.
Yes.
You know, step outside the box and say, what about me? Sometimes you need a conversation with yourself. Just saying, reevaluate yourself. Say, look, if I go this place, I'm going to be ripping and racing and running to please this individual. What about me? And stand tall with this individual person.
Right.
And speak your mind. It's nothing wrong with standing your ground. Because once you stand your ground, there's two things can happen. Either they can agree or disagree. So if they agree to what you're going through, they'll be more receptive to you. If they don't, then you know who that person is. And that's when you cut the deck.
That's when you cut the deck. Yeah, I think I think it's pressure on people to, like I was saying earlier, to want to be liked.
Yeah.
But I think that with the way our lives are, there has to be a little bit of selfishness involved with moving yourself forward.
True.
Because you are going to have to stop being a people pleaser and start wanting to please yourself. But it is a lot of pressure of caring about what others think when you decide to start making changes. What are my close friends going to think? What is my family going to think? And unfortunately, you know, a lot of times, you know, you're not going to get a good reaction.
Absolutely
you know what I mean?
not.
Because they're losing their people pleaser.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to keep that in mind. And it might not have been as genuine. I would focus more on those family and friends or co-workers who support you when you say, you know, I got to start focusing on me. Sometimes you got to take a step backwards in order to take 2 steps forward, you know, and that step backwards can involve you saying, I can't spend my time being a people pleaser all the time. And I think that people pleasing even filters into your kids. You know, like I know quite a few parents that are people pleasers with their kids. They don't like to see the disappointment on their child's face if they have to tell them no.
Right.
You know, but my thing is, you should tell your child no often to get them prepared, get that skin thick, because the world is going to tell them no all the time.
Yes.
Especially a black child. You know,
yes.
They're going to hear more no's than the average person, you know, so you're not helping if you like, oh, well, you know, I want my child to be happy, I want my child to be this, I want my child to be that. And I know that we often do that through, you know, our clothing. We get them whatever clothes they want and get them whatever, you know, sneakers
despite
they
their
want.
grades and all that.
Despite their grades and all that, it's like, oh, well, you know, his grades were bad, but, you know, he didn't get suspended this year, so I still got him the shoes. And, you know, you may find yourself being a people pleaser and also in those ways. And it doesn't usually work out in the long run.
This is basically a gem for the people. Do not smack the hand away from a helping hand, but then pucker up to kiss someone's behind. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? This genuine hand of friendship is to help you see yourself. You'll smack that hand down, but pucker up. Makes no sense. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
That makes no sense.
One end you standing strong.
Yeah.
The other end you being.
And that friend wants to see you to be great. Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
And you'll sit there and you'll do all this extra stuff for this individual person, and they give you no gratitude, no thank you, no appreciation, nothing. And this person doesn't want nothing from you.
Right.
Just to see you be you. Because not all of us were people pleased. At the time, we were just individual people trying to find our own. We met this individual, male or female, and we found a liking to them. But in reality, they don't like you the same way that you like them. They know it's a benefit with you.
Right.
Like you said, you're going to help me move. You're going to help me do this. You're going to help me do that. In reality, you got to set yourself up. Am I just a fun time?
That's a good question.
Am I an individual to you? Do I count in your day basis like you count to me?
Right.
Will you give me the same? Will you die for me as I will die for you? That's the common. That's mental death. It doesn't have to be physical. How far down a rabbit hole will you go for me as I go for you?
Right.
That's what you got to ask the person every now and then.
Yeah, and that's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Will you do the same for me?
Will you do the same for me? And I think a lot of the times you'll find out that may not be the case. And how about, you know, if they're going to support you when you decide to do something different, you know? If you decide, hey, I want to start trying to, you know, do this business, you know, are they going to support you?
Absolutely not. We know that firsthand. Black by the Man, T-shirts, collar shirts, right out there at Emmanuel's on 40.
Yep.
We didn't see half the people that tuned in today. No disrespect.
No disrespect.
But if you go in there, buy some hair, some grease, some combs, some brushes, the shirts are right up front by the cash
register.
register.
Get you a BBD shirt at Emmanuel's in Aberdeen, Maryland.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true, brother. That's very, very true.
And it's Route 40 if everybody don't know it.
Route 40, the Route 40 corridor. It's on, that's heading westbound, actually. That's the westbound side, right?
Right on side.
Absolutely.
I was quiet for a reason, because everybody knows where it's at.
Right. Gotcha.
Everybody knows where it's at.
So they familiar with it.
It's a couple clicks from down from the liquor store where you know everybody goes.
Oh yeah, we know.
So make an excuse to y'all like down the street from the liquor store. You know what I mean? But
I'll read a comment here. Shout out to Mr. Donnie Beck. He says, y'all give great knowledge and real thought to the brothers and sisters out here. Salute 100. Salute to you too, my brother.
Shout out Donnie Beck, man. Love you, homeboy.
You know, we simply trying to share information, stimulate a different thought process, and you know, bring something good to the community. Bring discussions that people might not be so comfortable with doing with their family and friends. You know, you can hear it here at the BBD Radio Show. And if you really feel like you got something to say, you can contact us at Black by Demand, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. And we can even look into you being a guest or even going over a particular topic that you want us to cover. So again, if you have topics you want to see us cover, you can email us at Black by Demand, the letter 4, the number U, at gmail.com. That is Black by Demand 4U at Gmail. So make sure you hit us up. Well, it looks like we are up on another break, so stay with us. It's the BBD Radio Show with your boy, Brother Mike. We'll be back after this.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular, it's getting that person money, it's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like, you know,
the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Business owners, need more customers? Offer fantasy sports contests and generate more sales. Restaurants, bars, hotels, auto dealerships, real estate offices. Whatever your business, fantasy sports contests can help you increase your sales and bring you more loyal customers. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. Our software lets you customize contests fast and easy for your brand. That's right. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. That's 888-55-SPORT or visit Fanify.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the BBD Radio Show. We are talking 12 drawbacks of being a people pleaser. So if you are a people pleaser, this show is for you. We're going to give you some of the drawbacks. That way you can decide if you want to stay that person or if you feel that you need to make some changes to give yourself a little bit more satisfaction in your life. So we was up to number 6. No, I'm sorry. We just went over number 7, personal dissatisfaction. Now we are heading into number 8. So number 8 is no respect. No respect. Excuse me. As people pleasers, one's advice will be discounted. After all, the pleaser is trying to please, not be objective. People might seek them out as sounding bored in order to feel good. But if one can't be counted on to give and host opinions, one's view won't matter to many. Also, they tend to back down from arguments, often swallowing their own concerns and complaints. Wow. This leads to them being further taken advantage of and them thinking of themselves as being taken advantage of, which falls into the underlying sense of resentment. Okay, so no respect. So if you are a people pleaser, according to this research, they have no respect for you.
At all.
You know, they simply are just using you. And this is putting you in a situation where you're even scared to voice your opinion.
Yeah.
Because you think it's going to be going against whatever everyone else is saying. And your job in your mind is to always make everybody happy. And I think we've all been guilty of being a people pleaser at some point in our life. But evidently there are those who take it to the furthest extreme where it's actually hurting them. People might seek them out as sounding bored in order to feel good. That's interesting. But if one can't be counted on to give and hope his honest opinion, one's view won't matter anyway. Yeah, you should be able to give your opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I don't buy into people who don't want to give their opinion you know, because they say, well, you know, I didn't want nobody to get mad at me, so forth and so on. Well, guess what? Most of the people that you thought was going to get mad at you wasn't nothing but their opinion. You get what I mean? Like, you know, you should better give your opinion. If you're feeling that you can't give your opinion, evaluate why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you feel that way because the person's going to slap you after you give it? Or are you just feeling that way because you fear they're not going to agree with it? Because if they don't agree with it, that's fine.
Right.
But as long as you're not in a situation where if you give your opinion, you're going to have to feel threatened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I don't think most people are from giving their opinion. They just simply are fearful of people not agreeing with it. So I would recommend always giving your opinion, because I think everyone's grown enough to respect another person's opinion. So when people use that, well, I didn't want to say anything because she would have got upset or he would have got upset.
Right.
How do you know that unless you did it? Now, if you got concrete proof that's happened 4 times, I'm with you. Yeah, you might not want to, you know, engage with that person, but I've often seen people use that to give excuse to their weakness of not being able to give their opinion.
Right, definitely.
You get what I'm saying?
But it's the person above them. The one who's getting pleased is the one who causes most of the hardship. You know, because like I've always been, you've been in circles. When we coming up, I'm using this phrase, we coming up. You might be with it's a group of us over there on the corner or wherever, and you pull up with your homeboy or somebody else, or here come yo. They're not talking about you.
Right.
Here come yo. They separate y'all because oh, he F boy, oh, he do everything so yo and so say.
Right.
But not knowing why. So he is ridiculed for being a good friend.
Yeah.
Trying to look out for his friend the best way you know how. So he's ridiculed when he speaks his mouth. Man, shut up, man. Stop running your mouth. He or she.
They shut him down.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. So you got to pick and choose your battles of who you are dealing with.
And you can see how that would discourage.
Yeah. You
certain
can't
people
speak
would
your
become
mind because you're
discouraged.
afraid, oh, she might stop dealing with me, or he might be mad. So what?
So what? They may
So
not
what?
be people you want to deal with anyway if they can't respect your opinion. They don't have to agree to it, but as long as they're not trying to, you know, beat you down or make you feel that you're lesser than them because your opinion is different, I say stand strong, you know, and get your respect, because they're not going to respect you if you don't have an opinion. And that's exactly what this is saying. No respect because you don't have an opinion. Your opinion is always in cahoots with someone else's, and people may know that you really don't feel that way.
Shout out to my nemesis one time for Stacy. Hello, fellas. What up, Stacy? How you doing?
Stacy Smith.
Yeah.
Shout out to homegirl Stacy Smith. Thank you for supporting Black
Good
Mountain
supporter.
Manchester.
Good supporter.
Yeah, Stacy always shows support. I appreciate that. I believe that Stacy's support has caused other people to support.
Absolutely.
And sometimes people don't react until they see someone else support. You get what I mean? So again, thank you for that, Miss Smith.
One more for Donnie Beck. I've also seen it on the other side. People have gotten mad and wanted to fight.
Right, now that's
for
what I'm
sharing
talking
their
about.
opinion.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, if you're experiencing that, I can see why you didn't want to say nothing. But you also may want to evaluate if you should even be around those people.
Yeah,
You get me?
definitely.
Because if you stay dealing with them, you're not going to be able to ever say what you feel.
Exactly. It's a waste of breath, because now and it's sad to the people, because now you might not like what that person says, but you got to be tight-lipped, afraid of being hurt.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Because you know, one of the things that you can do is you can challenge that person who wants to get violent with you. You know what I mean? You can humiliate them. You can bring them down and say, hey, man, look at you. Look how you're ready to jump on me because I don't agree with you. Why do you feel so hostile?
Of my perspective.
Right, because my perspective is different from yours. You know, so you may be able to bring them down a notch by making them realize, look, man, we're adults. Are you ready to punch me in my face because I don't agree?
I just had a conversation earlier with that. We are adults.
Right. So, Donnie, you might want to get away from them cats.
Yeah, man.
And not have conversations with them type of cats. You know, so that way, because you don't want them labeling you that way. Because if you engage in that argument, everybody's not going to always say it was that other person who started that. They're going to put it on Donnie as well. You get what I mean? Be like, man, both of them be, you know how they love saying that. You know, both of them was, tripping, blah, blah,
And
blah.
never listen to you. Speak your mind.
Right.
And this could be the first time you spoke on it since the beginning of time.
Right.
You know, you just had enough. You had a mental break, like, look.
Right.
Where do we go from here? I did it above and beyond for you, and no thank you, no nothing. I feel disrespected.
And you know what? That makes sense if that is your first time that could get that person so upset.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, when you get a voice.
Ooh, hit the bell
you
for
get
me.
what I'm saying? You know, I can see that might be what gets them upset. Like, man, you ain't never said nothing about
Who
nothing
are you?
before. Who are you? You just saying that because I'm the one who said it. You know, like all that type of
Or
nonsense.
the person who really has genuine love for you said, man, look, I'm on the outside looking in. I see how they are treating you,
right?
Or he's treating you, and then they'll be mad at this person, but take it out on you,
right?
Because that person has a mind. He's not afraid of you or her.
Right.
He's going to stand his back, fight, talk, or whatever. He's going to stand his ground. So he won't go to that person who's trying to tell you to get out. He'll make you feel lesser than a person.
Make you feel less,
which is a coward's move.
Coward move, and you want to stay away from them kind of people.
Definitely.
You know, because if you can't have a grown discussion, you know, and support your opinion. Now, I don't have, I personally don't have issue if someone challenges your opinion, but it's a way to challenge somebody's opinion.
Yes,
you
it
know,
is.
you can say, well, explain to me how you drew that conclusion.
Right.
You know what I mean? Why do you think that? Why do you feel this way? You know what I mean? And that will help you to realize, okay, it's just their opinion. You know what I mean? There's no facts behind it or anything. And as a community of people, I think sometimes we blur the line. At least it's been my experience between facts and opinions. Often facts are viewed as opinions, and then the other person's opinion, they're presenting it as if it's a fact.
Good.
You get what I mean?
Definitely.
So that often causes the confusion. I know I've personally had those situations where I had to explain to people, listen, I'm not disrespecting your opinion. I'm just simply saying it's incorrect because I have the facts right here that don't match what you're saying. You understand what I mean? And people often, you know, they get angry about that, you know, but you can keep your opinion. I'm not saying take it away. I'm just saying according to the research, it's not accurate. Everybody is not, you know, capable of handling that, unfortunately.
Right.
You get what I mean? So Donnie, hang in there, brother. You know, and, just be careful with who you engage in these type of conversations with.
Jessica said a couple comments. She said, you won't mentally grow, no respect, and they will take you as a joke forever.
Absolutely. At least if you stand your grounds, you know, they'll respect that fact. He didn't back down, you know, he didn't cower out and try to be a people pleaser. Like it was saying here, you know, swallowing their own concerns and complaints out of the fear of what others are going to think if they step up and say, hey, you know, I don't agree with this, you know, this, that, and the third.
Ike said one more comment. They be putting their chin out there first because they're mad at what you might say. I don't know if that was a threat or a chin shot or not, but we'll figure it out.
Ike said if you put that chin out there, he going to check it.
Oh, good. There it is. Hey, I get it now, Ike.
Put that chin out there. All right, so no respect. So that's a drawback to being a people pleaser. You may not get the respect from others. I do know for some people, it's very hard to tell others no.
Very
you know,
hard.
like some people are people pleasers. They have issues with telling people no because they don't like to disappoint people. And I get it. I've been in situations where I didn't tell someone no because I didn't want to disappoint them. But, you know, I eventually grew away from that. Now I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Look, watch this. No.
Hell no.
Pretty good at it now, you know, but I do get that, you know, but it won't get you anywhere and it won't make people respect you. And they will try to take advantage of you, unfortunately. All right, so let's move on to number 9. Number 9 says you can't please everyone. No matter how helpful a pleaser tries to be, no matter how pleasant, they'll run into someone immune to their need for approval, which will throw them into a tailspin because they're used to, at the very least, being taken advantage of, offended at most, and feeling useful or needed. So you can't please everyone. So sometimes the people-pleasing ray of light that you shoot out, some people will reject it. Throw you into a tailspin. You know? You can't please them. You know, you find yourself going hard, you know, trying to please them, and you don't know they're immune to it. You know, they don't want you pleasing them, and they're not needing your approval on anything. You know? So that's interesting. Ever experienced that before? You know, when you see someone trying to be a people pleaser, and the person they're doing it with is just rejecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get what I mean?
Talks down to them, disrespectful.
Right.
All in their face, and then
nothing they can do can please them.
Or the individual person is calm and collective with the individual when they're by themselves.
Right.
And then when the masks come around, all of a sudden now they the MFers, they the clowns, and they this. And the whole time you had a genuine conversation before the people came around.
Right.
And then you belittle that person that is appeasing you.
Right.
I've seen that countless times. So the people who do it, you know who you are. You should be ashamed of yourself. It's disrespectful because that person is doing everything possible. To make sure you are okay, and you belittle that person in a way where they're hurt. And again, suicide is at a high rate right now. From going to 7 and 8 and 9 years old now up to full adults. Because they're trying to find their way in the sun, and when they find a person that they have a love for, genuine love, and you pissing their Kool-Aid for no reason.
For lack of better words, right? I just seen a video on Facebook. I actually just seen this last night, but it kind of touched me a little bit. So in the video, it's an Asian guy. They're in like China or Japan or something. So he ends up riding his bike down basically a one-way. So the police pull him over, and long story short, he ends up having a nervous breakdown. He starts apologizing to them. I'm so sorry. You know, I'm in a rush. And he was saying his girlfriend left her keys. And he's at work and he has to work overtime every night. But he had to leave to get her the keys because she's got to do this, do that. And he literally had a breakdown in front of the police. He's hollering. He's screaming. He's grabbing his hair. He's telling them, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to break the rules. And what I found to be interesting is that the police, like, did what they were supposed to do. Like, they consoled him. Like, hey, calm down. Right. It's okay. And he's like, no, I'm so sorry. You know, you don't understand the pressures I'm under in life. I have to work overtime every night. I was just trying to ride down this way to hurry up and get her keys. I'm sorry for breaking the rules, blah, blah, blah. But, like, he had a nervous breakdown on camera. It was so bad, right? At one point, he told them, I'm so sorry. And they was on a bridge, and he took off running to the ledge of the bridge, and he was about to jump off the bridge. So they come running behind him and grabbing him, and he's crying and he's upset, you know what I mean? And the caption is showing you like this guy's really having a nervous breakdown. But I was just so impressed with the way the police dealt with him, right? And I could relate to it because life is full of pressures, you know what I mean? Like, you're in a society that puts pressure on you to succeed. And success has been determined by the society. You know, even though we can say we see success the way we want, but there is also a general consensus of what we see as success. And everybody's trying to reach that through their job, through their business, through their home, through their car, through their children. You get what I'm saying? And this guy just couldn't take it no more. You know what I mean? And it was so heartfelt that when the police were out there with him for 45 minutes, and he kept trying to run off, right? Saying, I gotta go. And they're like, no, just calm down. We understand, just calm down. And miraculously, they ended up hugging him. So they give this guy a hug, you know, 2 cops. They're like, come here, man. Just let us give you a hug. So they're giving him a hug. And like, after, 45 minutes, he finally calms down. And I'm just looking, thinking, look what life can do to you. You get what I'm saying? This was a man that was trying to do right. He's apologizing to the police for breaking the rules. When the police like, look, we pulled you over because you were riding your bike down the one way, but it's not that serious. You know what I mean? Like, we just wanted to stop you and tell you, hey, turn around, go the other way. But the time that it was taking away from what he was trying to get done, getting back to his job, getting his girlfriend the keys, he's got to make money. It just took him into a tailspin. But I was just so impressed with the way the police dealt with him. And all I kept thinking is, if this would have been America, like, they would have killed him. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? They would have beat him down and killed him because he was frantic, he was hyped up, he was pulling his hair out his head, he especially when he ran away from him. Oh, yeah, he was dead. Yeah, they would have shot him. You get what I mean? And I was just thinking, look at the difference between being protectors and public servants, where you have still humanity within you. Right. You know what I mean? And you see, this guy doesn't need us making things worse for him. This is a time where we have to protect. And they protected him he was honestly going to kill himself. He was that stressed out where he was going to kill himself. And it was just amazing. And I just was reflecting on it like, oh my God, like, look how life can get you because we're so caught up. And what was he doing? He was being a people pleaser.
Running.
You understand me? He was being a people pleaser, trying to please the quota that society put on him, trying to please his girlfriend, trying to please the job, trying to pay the bills, doing everything within his power. And it just gave him a complete breakdown. And when you see things like that, to me, it just makes you realize that all of this stuff is just so superficial. You get what I mean? Because when your mental is gone, and that's what he kept saying, I'm going crazy. And I'm thinking he's telling the truth. Mm-hmm. He's telling the truth. He's got so much pressure in him. So being a people pleaser can actually lead you all the way up to that point. You know what I mean? Where you're doing so much, he's trying to please everybody and nobody was happy with him.
At all.
You get what I mean? And he was ready to throw the towel in. You got a comment?
I think we had to go to break. I'm not sure we go to break yet, but shout out to Donnie, man. He said, this show is a blessing to a lot of people in the county. I get a lot
Thank you, brother.
Information and help from you brothers. Man, I appreciate it.
That's what's up, Donnie. And on that note, we're going to take our first break. Stay with us. It's the BBD Radio Show. Well, actually, it's not our first break.
Whatever happened to the times when we cared for one another? We shared the same respect. What is happening? We're trading what's important for shiny things. I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Don't lose yourself, stay on track. Baby, you're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. Full of the things that we've overcome. Full of unspoken battles we won.
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the BBD Radio Show. We are talking 12 drawbacks, being a people pleaser. So we are on to number 10. Number 10, I really like this one. I definitely got something to say on this. So number 10 is time management. So it says time is the most precious commodity because those who know how to use it well exhibit a sense of mastery, whether in their careers, their studies and hobbies, or their lives in general. The people pleaser's lives lives a life of interruption. Their needs, interests, and desires take a back seat to the needs and interests and desires of others. A pleaser's time is not their own time. All right, so time management. Definitely as a people pleaser, time management is going to be affected. Because like they said, it's not even your time.
At all.
Because you spend all your time trying to please others. But I definitely want to focus on when it says those who know how to use it will exhibit a sense of mastery, whether in their careers, their studies, their hobbies, or in their lives in general. Time management is of such importance. Like I've had so many shows where I've stressed this, right? Because I don't think a lot of us have a full understanding of what exactly it means. So the way I like to speak on it is look at it as your free time, right? Because we know we all have certain time management. You got to report to work a certain time. You get off a certain time. You take a break a certain time. You got to have the kids at school, practice, so forth and so on. But true time management, in my opinion, comes into play with what you do in your spare time. Okay, so this is where time management is being wasted because a lot of it within the black community deals with entertainment and having fun. See where I'm coming from?
Absolutely.
So a lot of our spare time gets spent doing things that won't advance you in life. Not only will it not advance you, it will actually hurt you because you're losing money. You're not even just losing time, you're losing money. So every time you want to go out every weekend or do this and do that, you know, every crab feast they have, every white party, every, you know what I mean, every event, every show, you're losing time, you're losing money, and people are going to keep saying, happy birthday. They're going to keep saying that. Do you get the subliminal I'm putting in there?
Yeah,
you're going to get older and older, and you're not going to realize that you wasted so much of your free time from a lack of time management until you're old enough to reflect and say, "Oh my God," you know what I mean? Like,
by then it's too late.
Yeah, it could honestly be too late. And when you do take note of your time management, just like the research says, you become a master of it, and it will improve whatever you decide to start dedicating some of that free time towards. Now, I always say I'm never telling people don't enjoy yourself, because we all work hard. You have a right to enjoy yourself. But just don't make it where that's what your time management is all about. When you have free time, you fill it with something that's going to entertain you. Instead of saying, you know, 50% of my free time I use towards doing something that's going to advance me or advance my children, advance my job, you know, something, you know what I mean? Whether that's studying something, working on opening a business, reading a book, you know, I don't know, just, you know, different things. But this, I feel, is something that has not been taught within our community. So I'm a stickler for time management. I'm not the master of it, but I am aware of it, and I do have enough experience with it to share with my audience. You get what I mean? It is of the utmost importance, and you have to be aware of these time management vultures. That's what I call them, right? Because we're surrounded by people who will steal your time from you. Every time they know you got a free weekend or free evening, they hitting you up, hey, we're going here. Let's do this. Let's go here. Let's do that. So in the process, they're spending your money up as well.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on time management?
Hit the bell, brother. You did well.
Mr. Woodson said I did well with that.
I ain't got nothing to say on it.
You know,
he nailed that.
I just think it's so important. I think it's one of the gray areas that we're simply not seeing. You know, we're aware of it, but we're not aware of it because our awareness of it just relates to I got time to go to this bar, I got time to go to this club, I got time to go to this party. You know what I mean? But we're not thinking about, is all of your time being used to entertain you, which is living for now. You know, it's a lot of scholars, you know, whether it's Dr. Anderson, Mr. Neely Fuller, Khalid Muhammad, R.I.P. Francis Welsing, Dr. Francis Welsing, Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Umar Johnson. You know, like all of these people agree that, you know, we waste a lot of time on entertainment. You know what I mean? And we're not receiving the proper education on what we should be doing with our time. So when you look at someone else who has achieved things that you didn't think they could achieve or things that you want to achieve, the one thing that's being skipped over is they learned how to manage their time. Time management was a big part of that. You cannot get the things in life that you want without managing your time management. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's something that we just need to always keep repetitive and banging into people's ears. So anytime it comes up during a show, I try to make sure that I speak on it, you know, because it's of the utmost importance. You know, we cannot just consistently be having fun.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Spare time, having fun, this is what we do. That's a rhyme and reason for all of that. You know, I can take you down the rabbit hole how, you know, because of the oppression that black people deal with within this society, this is why we want to go and get something good going on in our life. You know what I mean? You deal with what you deal with at the job. You can't go on Facebook without seeing racism. A lot of things pushing us down. So when you get that free moment, it's like, hey, I worked, I paid the bills, I deal with the kids. I'm going to go have some fun, which, you know, you rightfully earned.
Yeah.
But you can't live for just now. And this is what a lot of these scholars are saying, that within the black community, majority of us just live for right now, as if the future isn't coming. I've had so many black people say to me, well, you know, tomorrow's not promised. That's absolutely true, and neither was today, but here you are. You know, but here you are. So rather tomorrow's promised or not, you still have to prepare for it. You know what I mean? And you have to prepare your children for it, so forth and so on. Because every time someone has told me that, I've seen them a couple days later. Oh, you still here?
The only thing I have to say to make it real brief is when a person, I'm a victim of saying it too, tomorrow's not promised.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're capable of saying tomorrow's not promised, what do you help that brother or sister do today? How we help to utilize that thing for today?
Right. What you doing today?
Should we go out and drink today? Should we sit down and have a civil conversation where our last conversation was about growth?
Right.
Instead of tip the glass back.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because that plays a part too. Even if you do go to the bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that you still can't have a conversation about investments, real estate, building a business or whatever. So this ties into your circle, who you're around. Because some people go out and enjoy themselves a lot, but the people that they rock with, while they're out drinking and having fun and watching the game, they're also having discussions about other things.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? According to Mr. Neely Fuller, you can check his book out. It's called The Compensatory Code. Mr. Neely Fuller says that, black people are not having constructive conversations at all.
Nope.
So him as well as Dr. Claude Anderson, teachings I've gotten through them is what led to me wanting to have the Black by the Man radio show, because they made me see the reality that black people don't talk about anything that moves them forward.
They're
Most
afraid.
of the conversations, they don't know, you get what I mean? And they're not interested. So too many of us think it's boring. You know what I mean? So if you want to sit around and talk about some constructive conversations, it's like, dude's a little boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want to talk about things that deal with more on the entertainment level. But anyway, we up on another break. Stay with us. It's the Black by the Band radio show. We talking 12 drawbacks to being a people pleaser. We shall return.
I am understanding.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This unknown to find who we really are. Crash into something new. Take a break from our broken heart. Talk with the hip, tell me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, try not to say too much. Let your love come down. If you wanna rule, it's a rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move. Don't wait on nobody else. And if it feels like a melody, sing a song, be my radio. And if you follow me there, I'll follow you back. Let the night unfold. I can tell that she can't get enough. Show enough, she couldn't get the feels up from me. I know she couldn't get the feels up from me. Touching hands till we dance in the dark. Show enough, she couldn't get the feels up from me. We do whatever you like.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We talking about politics, you go to sports. Because you don't want me involved in talking about something that you think I have lack of knowledge of.
True. All right, welcome back, everybody. Me and Mr. Woodson was having a good discussion here during the break. But we are still talking the 12 drawbacks of being a people pleaser. So we was going over time management. If anyone in the audience has experience with, time management or recognizing a new understanding of time management, please share it with us. I personally think it's one of the biggest things that you can do in your life, even if you don't know what to do with your life. Working on your time management is of the utmost importance. Like I always use the analogy that if you was to sign up for classes at a community college, right? Your class could be on Tuesday and Fridays, and they say it's from 9:35 to 11:10, right? You're going to be there every Tuesday and Friday. 9:35 to 11:10 because they told you need to be here and you need to read and you need to hear what's being said, so forth and so on. So I'm saying you don't need to be registered for college to do that. You can decide on Tuesdays and Fridays, I'm not available from 9:35 to 11:10 because I'm reading or I'm studying videos or I'm working on my business or I'm this, I'm that, whatever it is you choose to do. But we don't have that understanding unless we sign up for something.
But the thing is, you're absolutely right. And I never took it that way neither, and that makes perfect sense. But for the pleaser, the person that they're pleasing will say, "Oh man, that's stupid. What are you reading that book for?" They will take you out of your comfort zone for you to please them when you can benefit for yourself, and that is selfish
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
from the pleaser, because you're trying. You said that was a good point to basically put yourself in a box where mentally, I'm going to take a class today. That's from reading a book. That's from taking some alone time, doing anything in that time frame. But if you are a pleaser, that's not a void.
Right.
You're not gonna be able to do that because they're going to take your time from you. Right. Because they worry about their own selfish intent.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I mean. When you start to understand time management, you're going to suddenly start seeing these time vultures. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, every time you decide, I'm going to sit down for an hour and read, text messages, phone calls come
everything,
in,
knock on the door.
Knock on the door, and when you say, I can't do it right now, it's like, come on, man, I need to go over there right now. Like, you can do that when you get back. Suddenly you're going to see people not respecting your time. But to me, these are one of the this is one of the big secrets to achieving the things you want to achieve in life, time management. And your time management cannot be, it cannot be dedicated to only doing things that you like to do. You got to include things that you don't like to do, like reading, like reading or studying, like like I always tell people, if you was to get a personal trainer, your personal trainer is not going to be nice to you. That's not going to motivate you. Like, they're going to be there getting on your nerves, pushing you to the limit. So we kind of have to do that to ourselves. And I think many of us within our community like to stay within our comfort zone. So I like this. I'm decent at this. I'm good at that. That's what we do. But in order for you to grow your brain, reach full capacity, you're going to have to try things and do things that you've never done before. Right. Again, I'm transparent. Before I started the Black by the Band radio show, I'd never been on radio a day in my life. But I didn't approach it with that attitude of, I've never done that, I can't do that. No. Hey, I'm going to learn how to do it. Yeah. We're going to make it happen. But sometimes, at least I've been around so many people that have that fear, and it stops them, right? And again, every year somebody's going to say happy birthday to you. So that's another year that has went by that you didn't do anything different, like you kind of did the same thing. And that is the exact definition of insanity. And we're not trying to offend anyone, but I would rather offend you into the truth out of the love that I have for our people than to flatter you into lies and watch you continue, to not achieve the things you want to achieve, because there is greatness in all of us, especially black people. I mean, we are exceptional people. I mean, it wouldn't be so much effort put forward to stop us from being exceptional people if somebody didn't know that we are exceptional people.
And this is one thing that bothers me the most, is that every bad cliche is dealing with a black person.
Absolutely.
Black people are always late.
Yep.
Black people always start something.
Yep.
And the sad thing about it, it is not the powers that be who say it. It's us.
Right.
We are the condemner of our own people.
Yep.
So much to the point that it's sickening.
Yep. It is.
And it's terrible.
It's a lot of opportunity for growth.
And with clock management, I call it clock management. And what you do with that, if you ever notice that you are your most calm when you're by yourself, and once you get that moment of time by yourself, bam, phone rings, text messages, all this other stuff, and they'll bring you out into the world to have all this time with them. And then when you was like, man, I should have been studying, getting ready for this test. I don't know what you was doing. They totally forgot how they brought you outside. Right. They totally forgot how they had you in these places and tell you, man, you need to get yourself together. That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life. It's for a person that you are pleasing, tell you, like, what are you doing with your time?
Right. Yep.
And that's when you sit them down and you understand that, look, my time was revolving around you. As you're getting yourself in order for you, I'm helping you. And then the backlash is towards me because I'm not up there with you now.
Right.
I got you where you need to be.
Right. Yep. Ain't that something?
Crazy. I don't get it.
Time management, it is of the utmost importance. Learning about it will only improve your life. And like it was saying about being a people pleaser, you don't even know who you are because you haven't had time management So you haven't taken time out to be alone, like you said, and then discover what you want to do. Discover what you like. Discover things that you want to get better in your life. You know, like we all want better, but that time management is a part of the effort you have to put in to get better. And it is, I think most people know that to achieve certain things in life, it involves sacrifices, right? So that time management is one of the big ones. That's one of the big sacrifices. You're going to have to sacrifice some time management and say, listen, I got to do this, I got to do that. A lot of times I think we come into these state of minds after a crisis.
Yeah.
Get fired from your job. You understand what I mean? It's like, you know what, I'm going back to school. You know what I mean? I'm tired of this, you know, so forth and so on. Or they raised the rent and it's an unfair raise, you know. But I've been questioned before in my earlier years in a manner that disturbed me. You know what I mean? Like from, at that time, older adults where they're like, so you want a better life? And I'm like, absolutely. You know what I mean? Well, what do you want to be? Well, I want to have this and I want to have that. And then they hit me with the question, so what did you do today to move towards that goal?
Yeah, nothing, absolutely nothing.
Right, I had to face that reality that I didn't do anything, right? Other than still have it in my mind that this is what I want. So I try to share those experiences so we can question ourselves about that. Don't wait until somebody does it to you like what happened to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? What happened to me. And you know what's even funnier? The guy who did it was a bodybuilder, right? And he said to me, he said, and I was probably in my late 20s. And he was like, look, Mike, he said, life ain't a party. And I just looked at him. I said, yeah. He said, think about what I'm saying to you. He said, life is not a party. He said, we black people, we do a lot of partying.
Yes, we do.
You know what I mean? He said, we live a life as if everything Gucci. You know, everything is, all the ducks are in a row.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, and even Mr. Fuller says the same thing. He said, you know, he's 80-something years old, you know, scholar. Mr. Fuller said he, to this day, at 84 years old, does not understand what black people are celebrating every weekend. Mr. Fuller, right? He was like, you're in the worst conditions. You got the most diseases, right? You got the most broken up homes, right? You're being beat down and shot by the police, right? Your areas are slums. He was like, I'm confused as to what y'all partying about every weekend when all of this is going on.
That's the design that they put us in, because after a funeral, someone passes away, there's no fellowship, there's no, to the point where if he died in gun violence,
right,
the first thing we do is get drunk and become angry to do what? More gun violence. So it's not where it can be an awareness after this person was killed. Oh, we're going to stand out in the streets and have an awareness. No one go to the bar. No one get high. Everybody figure out a solution to keep these young children from in these gun violence.
Right.
But it's the point of the matter, just everything, and I totally agree with both aspects, from the bodybuilder to the scholar, because at the end of the day is, what can we benefit from by partying when we're in turmoil?
And that's what Mr. Fuller was saying. He was like, you're in the worst condition of everyone in the United States of America, but you party more than everybody else. And like I said, and I do think it's an adverse reaction to being so oppressed.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So we're self-medicating. I do know that. You know what I mean? We are self-medicating, but when you hear an elder speaking to you in such plain words, it just makes you think. You know
and he's been here for, you said 80 years. So he's seen the all the movements and all the rhetoric that's going on in this world.
Absolutely.
So why not take his advice and sit back and reflect? Like,
reflect.
Well, yeah. Why do we drink when someone dies?
Right.
Why do we go get high when one of our homies get killed? Why don't we step outside of the negative, which and listen, I'm not out here judging nobody, but everything you do to numb the pain is negative.
Right.
If you can show me anywhere in any scientific book where alcohol can cure your soul or to help you live, show it to me.
Right.
Any drug that can make you feel better and give you a better outlook on life, show it to me.
I ain't seen that one yet.
If it does not, then we shouldn't do it in time of crisis. And I'm a victim of that.
Oh,
and I don't get out here and blame nobody.
Absolutely.
Listen.
Me too, brother.
Yeah, so
live and learn.
Yes, at the end of the day is we have, and this show is a good platform for us to, like I see a lot of people on here and they're send a wave to this is a time and place where you should be able to vent and say what's on your mind. If you are afraid to speak, I will speak for you. So looking into this Facebook Live, to anybody who think that I am afraid or will not speak, you a liar. So if you want to get your point across and speak how you feel, I will be your voice. I will be your fact, not your opinion.
Right.
Because your opinion would cause a defect in the situation. You should voice your opinion, but I can't voice your opinion unless it has a foundation.
Right. Because now tune into the show.
Right. Because if I'm saying something to you and they say, well, back it up, I can't back up your opinion. But if it is a fact and you explain it to me how it is a fact, then I can back your fact up.
You heard it here first from Mr. Derrick Woodson. You can get it here at the BBD Radio Show.
I ain't got no problem speaking. If you don't want your name acknowledged,
we say what everybody else is scared to say.
Yeah, I'll say I said it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, is most of us, you see a friend you haven't seen in so long, and they're just sad. And you asking them why, and they pour their heart out to you. Well, why don't you speak out about it? I can't. I'll be the person to do it for you.
Right. As they say, you can always find people to, party with.
Right.
Right? But if you say you want to open a business, how many people can you find with that? You get what I mean?
Miss Jessica Washington says, no one wants the footwork of a leader. It's too early to follow, which makes the leader position requirement close to none.
Okay. That's an interesting perspective. You want to step in the shoes. Okay. Well, let's move on to number 11. So number 11 is financial hits. The people pleaser's purse has a sifter. Whether they're loaning money or paying for lunch or feeling obligated to support every friend of a friend that comes their way. They have a hard time saying no to their disappearing dollars. All right, so being a people pleaser is going to cost you some money because you're going to want to please everybody all the time. They're going to know, hey, I ain't got no money, but I know Derrick's coming, so I'm good.
Yeah.
He'll buy something, right? He ain't going to let me sit here and not eat. Even if he can't afford it, he'll split his meal with me. So they're saying these people are going to suffer for the wrath of these other people. You get what I mean? They're going to take advantage of the fact that you don't like to see anyone not have, even if you ain't got half. You ever heard people say, man, I give you my last $5? I'm not giving you.
I have close friends who they will literally, you know what I'm saying, take you out, show you a good time, just because they know you're in a situation.
Right. And that's a good thing.
And me personally, I would try to decline because I knew they were genuine. But, at the end of the day, is you don't want them to, I'm trying to say this right without revealing a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, people are good people who just want to be around good people.
Right.
So sometimes they will lose themselves and their money just to be around good people because the people that they're around have no real love for them. They're just a fun time.
Right.
I want people to understand this. When I say you're a fun time, do not take it bad. Just understand that that's all they treat you for is a fun time. They don't really deal with you.
Right.
You make fun, you have jokes, you this and that and the third, but that's all you are.
Yeah.
You have no benefit. It's a good time. So when you make yourself beneficial to you and you do things for you, it feels better because you got a lot of things done.
Right.
But going out drinking, getting high, and running the streets and all that other stuff, you wake up the next morning, you got a headache, you don't feel good, you don't want to go to work.
Your money gone.
Right, and that's a fact.
Time management's gone.
It's a fact.
Yeah, I know a particular person, a young lady who she confessed to me before that a lot of times when she goes out with family and friends, she was like, sometimes I really don't want to go, but I go anyway because they want me to go, they invited me, and I don't want everybody to feel like I'm, not participating, so forth and so on. And I told her, I get it. I don't do it, but I get it, but you are going to have to reevaluate that because they're taking away your time and your money. And, you can't keep up because it's a lot of people that kick it a lot. Like they entertain themselves a lot. It's always something going on. It's always something going on, right? We going to D.C., we going here, we going there, it's event Saturday, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I can't do all that, because I'm still out here trying to achieve some things.
Plus I'm old.
Right, that's the other thing, right? Yeah. I'm of a certain age.
Knees don't work like they used to.
Right, and and I haven't achieved all that I want to achieve at this age. So, again, I'll go back to a comment that was made to me before when I spoke on this with a particular person. And they like, yeah, I feel what you're saying, but man, ain't nothing wrong with having fun. And I said, that's right, but you do understand that you're 40 plus. and you've been having fun since the sandbox. Okay, how much more fun do you need?
And for example, of time management, for people who know me and know my story, I lost 8 years, 4 months. You know what I'm saying? And that was 8 years, 4 months of time that I lost because I was just having fun.
Right.
You don't know where fun will lead you. Make no mistake about it, because the night that I was pretty much arrested, I was having fun. And I had an opportunity to make a decision that I made irresponsible.
Right.
Because I had a chance to go home or a chance to hang out and have fun.
Right. Hold that thought, brother. We up on another break. We'll be back. It's the Black by the Man radio show. Yeah, we'll let you finish that.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right. They were going into that National series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible. So when you have well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the
how much you're winning or losing your games by, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. It's like the margin of victory, kind of.
Right.
So when you're in a negative number, that means that you're
your average game you're losing
by a whole lot.
Right.
I mean.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. We are in the last segment in perfect timing because we are on number 12 of today's hit list of the 12 drawbacks of being a people pleaser. So number 12 is your love life. If you are a people pleaser, your relationships are going to be woefully one-sided. 60-40. You'll be lucky to get 70-30. You will be expected to plan outings, be the sensitive ear or shoulder, be on call, come up with pleasant surprises, and not expect to be on the receiving end of the same. It's hard to see how this would lead to a series of short-lived relationships following a set pattern. Joy and fun at first, then creepy feelings of fatigue on part of the pleaser, then resentment, then mild confrontation, affront on the part of the lover, and inevitably dissolution. So this can ruin your relationship.
Oh, most definitely.
Being a people pleaser.
Most definitely.
Because the other partner is going to begin to expect you to be that person. Do this, do that, plan this, plan that, be my ear, be my shoulder, so forth and so on. So you got to find balance. So I think this goes into being able to tell people no.
Yeah.
Some people struggle with saying no. You know what I mean? Like they're not well, or they don't do well at telling people no.
I've been on both sides of the field on that. I don't be brutally honest. Like,
put my gazelles back.
When I was the person who was getting appeased, I would tell a person, like, look, man, come hang out, man. Well, my girl, but man, nobody want to hear that. And the first thing, you see what I'm saying? Come on outside, sucker. Next thing you know, they come outside and they're losing in their household because of your selfish intent.
Right.
And I also been on the flip side, but I didn't want to come out. and that person was like, well, man, come on outside. Like, nah, man, you a sucker. And then I'm like, it was more or less karma for me. Because now I'm in a situation that person was in, arguing with my spouse.
Right.
Putting this other person before my children and doing certain things like that.
Being a people pleaser.
And that for the person who's doing that, sometimes check yourself. Because if you can't do the same thing that the other person does for you, then know who you are. Know who your selfish intent is. Know how petty you are. Because when you make a person feel lesser than to come hang with you, and they're going to lose. And once they lose, you get put out of your home. Can I come stay with you?
Right. Suddenly, you know.
I lose my job. You got a couple ends to put in my pocket?
Right.
Now all of a sudden, man, that was you. I ain't make you come outside. That is the that is the most disrespectful thing I've ever heard.
You ain't have to do it.
I give you an example. I had a friend of mine who said, "Can you do something for me?" I said, "I really don't have this." This was when I was away. I really don't have the means to do it for you because I have to purchase this. Well, man, you know I really need this. You know, got you.
Right.
So when it's time for me to help to purchase this, and then have the other party was like, "Man, what's up with that? Oh, you're not doing. We ain't dealing with you no more." So I go to the person like, "Yo, that was crazy, but this is what happened to me. You didn't have to do it. I didn't force you."
Right. Yeah. See, whole new attitude.
And it's like I'm going through hell over here for you.
Right.
And when it hits the fan for me over here, you're not even supportive.
Now you want to take it back to I made a choice I didn't have to make. Ain't that
Selfish
terrible?
intent.
Well, that fits right in sync with what we're going to end this with. We're going to end this with the pleasure principle. So it says it's okay to want to feel good, and it's vital that we help each other. But serving as a people pleaser makes any experience feel detrimental both ways. It's easy for the other to fall into needing the pleaser too much, thereby becoming enablers, and for the pleaser to become a useful tool rather than a real person, thereby continuing a cycle. Always keep in mind that we must first please ourselves in order to have a truly positive influence on someone else's life. Satisfaction flows outward, and its effects are contagious. Saying no doesn't make one a bad person, nor is the occasional assertion of personal need in any way selfish. Absolutely. That was a good way to wrap that up.
Can I read these
Yes,
couple comments?
please do.
Shout out to Deneen Wilson Harrison. Loving the topics, keeping, informing, and teaching.
Thank you, sis.
Des Miles says, in a relationship takes two. If it's always one-sided, do they really know you? Respect that I want my relationship to work. Nothing wrong with staying in the house with your other half.
That's right. Stay your butt home.
Shout out to Des Miles because
time management.
He knows that if you don't act right in the crib, he can be outside. Right. So, but most of us, and I want to say this because I like the brother closing out because a lot of knowledge comes through him. He teaches me a lot, and I appreciate it. But I want to say this to the people out there. If you are a people pleaser, and we reached anybody out there today, have some self-respect. And this also was a reflection for me because every 12 points today hit home for me. Everyone. So if you are a people pleaser, and you're a people pleaser, and you heard this like I heard it today, and there's some things that I learned today that I'm going to correct today. So if you heard this and you understand this, don't be ashamed because me, all 12 points hit home for me. It may be several for you, but they all hit home for me. So if you're a people pleaser, do not be ashamed to speak out. Today when that person calls you, don't answer. Don't respond.
Right.
Stand on your own two and say, look, I had enough.
I'll read the last sentence again. Saying no doesn't make one a bad person, nor is the occasional assertion of personal need in any way selfish. So you can say no, and taking care of yourself doesn't make you selfish. So with that being said, we're going to wrap it up. On behalf of the Black by the Man radio team and the Black by the Man Inc. team, along with my guest, my brother, Mr. Derrick Woodson, I'm your host, Brother Mike. Make sure you tune in next Monday. We'll be back with another show, and I'll catch you on the flip side. It's the black side. Peace.
I was going to say, don't forget it.
Peace, baby.
Okay.